you. Hello and welcome to Fierce Friday. Welcome Million Mom Movement community. And if you're just joining us here for the first time, we are so glad that you're here with us. My name is Stephanie Dawn. I'm the chair of the Million Mom Movement Council. And ordinarily we have 4 of the council members here, but today I just have 2, Naeva Flory and Jody Parker. So we're working on a skeleton crew here, but we can hold it down, right, girls? So we're super jazzed to have you here with us today. And before we get into our topic, I just want to give you a little bit of backstory about who we are and why we're here on Fierce Friday. Like, what do we do here? So Fierce Friday was created in January of 2020 in an effort to really do something regularly with the entire field and with the community of moms and dads and caregivers and concerned aunties and uncles, et cetera, who were really, deeply concerned about what's going on with our food systems and with our really toxic food sources that we're feeding our children every single day. So I unknowingly had been poisoning my kid, Zephyr, who some of you may know. He's been here here on Fierce Friday in the past. And, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my story there. It's also in the Million Mom Movement official group on Facebook. And Zephyr, loved Cheerios, like absolutely loved Cheerios. It was his favorite cereal. And I tried to give him the organic O's and I tried to give him, all kinds of other things. He's like, Mom, I love Cheerios. I'm like, okay, sweetheart, not knowing that what I was doing was feeding my kid toxic food. And he had gut issues for 7 years. And I'm thankful to say that with the solution that we have, in the form of Biomedic, that removes the glyphosate from the body, and just taking all kinds of other noxious, toxic stuff out of his diet that I wasn't even aware that was drenched in glyphosate and herbicides and pesticides. My boy has regained his health. And so I couldn't stay quiet about my story, knowing how many families feed their children Cheerios in the United States and Canada. And so, you walk into any Walmart, you walk into any Target, and like there's this wall of Cheerios and all the different flavors. And so those were our humble beginnings with maybe about 10 folks on a Zoom in January of 2020. And here we are now. We focus on health and we focus on wealth. We are affiliated with the incredible company known as Purium, organic superfoods, and they've completely changed my life. And so many of the council members and the men and women who are in our community. So we're here to come together, to raise our voices, to share what we know, and to take action in service to what we believe in, our values, the communities that we're seeking to manifest and create. So that is who we are. And without further ado, I'd like to pass the baton to my beloved colleague, Jody Parker, who is going to first read the pledge and then talk about our scholarships. Thank you so much, Jody.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for those who are on camera. Yay for waving and smiling faces. I am going to share my screen because you don't need to look at me. I want you to read these words with me. This is millionmommovement.info, and I always stress that because it's info, not com. And to find the pledge, you come here under movement and you go to join. When you hit the join page, there is a place where you can share your information with us. I always tell everybody we do not share that. It just comes to us. You do not have to worry about that. And if you scroll all the way down here, you can set your intention with me today and take the Million Mom Movement pledge. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement. And we always make a point of making sure that you notice in that first line, I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family, because you must put oxygen on yourself first before you can help others. And mom is capitalized in Million Mom Movement because it is a movement of many. Anybody is welcome as long as they care about our future, about our children, about our food supply, about living healthy, and want to advocate for same. So now I'm going to show you our scholarship. If you come over here to outreach and click on scholarship, I'm going to bring that up for all of you and talk about this. So Purium, the superfood company that we are affiliated with, it's very important that they give back. And for the Million Mom Movement, we consider ourselves the activism arm of this company. And it is very important to us, not only are you living healthy, but that you're living wealthy. And we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to do that, even if maybe they're in tough financial situations at the time. And so this scholarship gives 4 lucky families a month the business side of Purium. So you get to partner with Purium Health Products, and you get some of the products so that you can create your story. Because if you don't understand how the products work and what they do in their body and how life-changing they truly are, it's really hard to share your story and get excited about it. So it is a 3-month scholarship. In the first month, you get the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Pack, which is a 30-day completely transform your entire lifestyle pack. And by the end of it, you won't believe the energy and how much you're glowing, and perhaps you've lost weight or moved weight around so it looks prettier on your body. Month 2, Juice Bar in a bag. It's as close as you can come to juicing without actually having to clean up after it, because all of our food is processed with pressure instead of heat. So it still has all its vital enzymes, and none of its proteins have been broken down. You also get a daily core 4, which is the continuation of the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Pack. And in month 3, you get a choice. You can get the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation again, or you can get the Family Nutrition Pack, which has a serving a day for a family of 4 for 2 weeks, or the New Grain Free Pack. You must be new to the company. You cannot already be a brand partner. You can be a customer because it is a business scholarship. You must show economic need in order for us to offer this to you, and you must be willing to do the work. You will be mentored by us here on the council, as well as the person who brought you to this call and their upline diamond. And so how do you apply? You keep coming down here. It says apply here. You hit let's begin, and you take it from there. And I will let you guys read the rest of it yourself. And Stephanie, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Jody. All right. Naeva Flory is coming to us from the island of Kauai, bringing the aloha this morning. Good morning, Naeva.
Good morning, Stephanie.
Yay. So if you would be so kind as to share about the petition, which actually does connect to our roots as well, the beginning of Fierce Friday. And then, of course, Naeva is our social media maven, and everything that you see on the social networks is due to Naeva and her mastery. Thank you so much for being here, Naeva.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. So like Stephanie said, we started a petition against General Mills a few years ago when our council came together for the first time. And we really decided that as a group of moms and caregivers and people who really care about the health of our families, we wanted to do more. So we started with a letter writing campaign, which quickly turned into creating a petition that makes it so much easier. So if you haven't yet seen our petition, thank you so much for pulling that up, then you can go find our petition. It is linked in our on our Instagram. So if you don't know how to find the link to this, it's on our website under millionmommovement.info. Otherwise, you can find it linked in our Instagram, link in the bio. And this petition is to ask General Mills specifically to remove glyphosate from Cheerios and other popular children's snacks. We realize that there are so many foods that have glyphosate in it. So if you haven't yet looked at the petition, there is a link in here for glyphosate unsafe on any plate. And you can go and click on that, and you can go learn more about the foods that have glyphosate, that contain glyphosate. You can learn more about this chemical and the effect that it has on our food. So this is a really great article. And yeah, I invite you to go look at it for yourself. It has really great statistics in it, showing where we were in the 80s and where we are now. So please go and sign this petition. This is part of what our movement is about, is making a difference. And so we invite you to create interest around this, create conversations around it, and share that petition with others. And I would also love to invite you to follow us on our social medias. So we have a few different places you can follow us. We have our Facebook page, which is a really great resource for what's going on weekly. I repost people there. We also have a Facebook group, which is where I share the story memes that I've created for you. So if you're not in the Million Mom Movement official, please go join that group so that you have access to all the tools that I create for you through that group. We also have an Instagram page, so please give us a follow there. And on Instagram, we have a link in the bio that actually links you to everything we've talked about this morning. If you want to go read the petition, if you want to go, if you have somebody that wants to sign up for the scholarship, or you want to go, sign that petition. Excuse me, I meant sign up for the scholarship. So all the different links are in there. So please refer to the link in the bio on Instagram if you're ever looking for a link and you can't find it. And everything I share on Instagram shares to Twitter. And if you ever need to catch a replay, find us on YouTube. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Hooray, thank you. All right, now we get to have fun. So these upcoming months are some of the funnest months for me, because it's family. I love my family. I love community. I love socializing, and I love gift giving. And so I was excited to be bringing this to you with the support of the incredible Jody Parker and Naiva. We are we are Enviro moms, right? We go way back. We the OG, like 30 years ago. I was, all about protesting old growth, forests being cut down in my native British Columbia. And so when it comes to gift giving, when it comes to all these things, like we want to be as sustainable, as environmentally minded as possible. So here we are today. Jody has an amazing presentation for us all about how we can be eco-minded in terms of gift giving, wrapping, and all that. And Naiva and I have got some stuff for you too. So take it away, Jode.
All right, you guys. So you know me, if you've been watching this for a while, I at one point in my life was a television news producer, and we talk often about on television that nobody likes to look at a talking head. And so I always try and give you visuals. I'm a visual learner. So of course I went and made it's a keynote because I have a Mac. So I'm going to share my screen so that I can take you guys through eco-friendly holidays. I have learned that if I make this fully big on my screen, I lose you guys. So we're going to just keep it small like this so that I don't lose you guys and have technical difficulties. But this time of year, everybody's buying stuff, and we're also seeing an unusual situation in their shipping problems and their supply chain problems. And so going local, shopping small, and really voting with your dollars by supporting companies who align with your belief systems is going to be super key for us in this holiday season. So I'm going to teach you how to do some of this stuff. I always leave this slide in here when I do this because I love that picture. But again, we are a movement of many who provide education and action steps to teach our communities how to live healthier. So today, we're not really talking about superfoods. You'll see things pop up here and there around our superfoods here at Purium. But today we're talking about some of the other things that apply to healthy living that a lot of people don't consider. So I'm going to start with stocking stuffers, because stocking stuffers seem to be the thing that people, they buy the quick plastic and the quick cheap ornaments and the things like that, and they end up in landfills, and we don't want to go there. But I'm going to take you through this stuff. Personal care and home products and reading the labels, because how many of you will buy a bath bomb or the cute little chapstick set for your daughter, or the soap or the lotion or the candles or the candle melts, et cetera, and do you know they're really, really toxic, like super toxic, guys. Your skin is your largest organ. Nearly everything you put on it is absorbed directly into your bloodstream within 26 seconds. Everything you put on it. Now, there are some exceptions to that. If they're a very large molecule, they don't get absorbed into your skin. That is why non-nano zinc oxide is the best sunscreen. It does not absorb into your skin. However, if it's nano, It does. So nano ingredients I tend to stay away from, but most things in our family, if we can't eat it, we don't put it on our skin. The average woman, though, these lip balms, the perfumes, the lip glosses, all these things that we get, these cute little sets that go in our stocking stuffers, they take on 550 chemicals on average a day. Really like absorb that. That's insane. And people are like, well, it's in little tiny small instances, except it's in your lip gloss and in your foundation and in your lotion and in your shampoo and in your deodorant and in this stuff that you're spraying on you and on and on. And these things over time can bioaccumulate in your body. And we all know you want less toxins going in than you have coming out, because we work with a superfood company that is really, we talk about detox all the time, right? But let's just not put the toxins in the first case or in the first place. So more than 1 in 5 personal care products contain chemicals linked to cancer. 80% contain ingredients that commonly contain hazardous impurities, and 56% contain penetration enhancers that help deliver the ingredients deeper into the skin. Oh, goody, it's even deeper into your bloodstream. But this one is scary. All right, those are my babies. I didn't take anybody from anything. So the one on the left is my oldest. That is him being washed for the first time. I had no idea Johnson & Johnson's baby wash was full of toxins when I allowed the nurse to do that. You can see how pissed he was. I learned pretty darn quickly. Second one is my middle child. I put shea butter on his skin. It had essential oils in it. That's all it had. Look what it did to his poor little newborn skin. See how sensitive they are? And you see my last one, she was fine. She didn't have any problems. But babies are born with over 287 different chemicals in their cord blood. 180 of those cause cancer in humans or animals. 217 are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 208 cause birth defects or abnormal development. That comes from Environmental Working Group. What are you putting on your skin while you're pregnant? And what lotion are you putting all over your largest organ all day long, you guys? So think about, I know we're talking Christmas, but that's because this is what we put in our stockings. These are the gift sets we give to people, right? And so this is why this is so important. And what about the smelly stuff? You know, the number 1 indoor air pollutant is fabric softener. That stuff is really toxic. Can you, I can't walk down the aisle at the grocery store or the Target or whatever that has all of the laundry soaps and the fabric softeners and all that. It makes me sick. It makes me dizzy. You know why? Because the stuff they sent it with is an endocrine disruptor. What does that mean? It messes up your hormones. You really don't want that. And then here's another thing we put in stocking stuffers: candles. Who puts candles? And so, we all do. And we love the good smelly. We want our house to smell like holidays, right? Well, petroleum wax, that's oil, right? Think about all the impurities that are in your petroleum wax candles. And now you're burning it into your air and breathing it in. And on top of it, what are they scenting them with? If it's not an organic essential oil, because let's keep in mind, if it's not organic, it probably has pesticides in it that you're burning into your air. Or if it's not an extract like from a fruit or something like that, it's probably toxic. Okay, so keep that in mind. What's your option? You want to go with like a beeswax or a soy wax. And you want it, again, soy wax, coconut wax is another one, but soy wax, is it GMO? Then you're putting glyphosate into your air. So, I mean, really think about these things. It's not stuff we think about. We think about it in our food, but not in the products we're using in our home. And here is something that is really, really, really important. There are 0 regulations on these products, on your laundry detergent and your lipstick and your shampoo and your lotion and your candles. There are no regulations. So look across the bottom of that screen. You can say organic, it's natural, it's a natural product, it's eco-friendly, it's green, it's this, it doesn't matter. None of that means anything. It's just marketing. The marketing department can say whatever they want about their products. The terms organic, natural, eco-friendly, botanically based mean nothing unless there's third-party certification. So this leads to what's commonly known as the greenwasher, a company that's marketing and ingredients don't match. So it's all about the ingredients. You got to ignore the hype. And I'm going to tell you, there are so many companies out there who talk about how green they are and they're cleaner and they're better. I'm me, and I'm on the Council of the Million Mom Movement, right? I don't want cleaner and better. I want clean, because clean is not cleaner, it's clean. And I don't want better, I want best, right? So that's what I'm going to teach you guys about today. So check this out. Here is a really good rule of thumb when you're reading ingredients. Choose products with short ingredient lists to minimize the chemical reactions. So they may test the things that go into these products, but they don't test them in conjunction with each other when they're mixed together. So when you put sodium benzoate and citric acid together, so sodium benzoate is a common preservative, and we'll talk about preservative shortly. And citric acid, that's, you know, a vitamin C based product. When you put them together in the same product, they make benzene rings. You know what benzene rings are? Highly, highly, highly carcinogenic compounds. And so you don't know how these things are going to interact. So I put two different labels up on this screen. I'm not going to tell you who the companies are because I'm not trying to promote or attack anybody. But if you look at the one on the left of your screen, it's 100% organic. It does have third-party certification. And let's keep in mind that when you see third-party certification on an organic personal care product, that means it is certified organic to a food grade level, because there is no organic certification for personal care products. So if it's organically certified as a personal care, it means it's food grade. So you can see it's like 6 ingredients: sunflower oil, jojoba oil, argan oil, primrose oil, lavender essential oil, and sandalwood essential oil. That's it, right? That seems pretty clean, pretty easy. But on the other side is a company who promotes themselves as being clean and green and eco-friendly and all the words, natural, that I explained to you. There are 24 ingredients in it. 18 of them are synthetic. All right. Cyclopentasiloxane. Well, that kills the fishes in the ocean. Isopropyl isoterate, propanediol. I mean, you can look all the way down. Dimethicone is another one that kills things. Oh, look, there's aloe leaf in there. There's something natural, right? And you can look all the way down and look at Polaxamer 184. If it has a number in it, avoid it. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. I mentioned that phenoxyethanol, sodium benzoate, and potassium sorbate, and citric acid. Those are all preservatives. And they are mid-grade toxicity preservatives. Phenoxyethanol is probably your safest if you are going to pick something with a preservative, and I'll talk a little bit more about preservatives and what the issue is there. But the other ones aren't very clean, and there's that sodium benzoate with the citric acid that I mentioned earlier that makes benzene rings that are highly carcinogenic. So pick things with shorter lists. Read your labels. Okay, so all of these things, these are the top 12 ingredients to avoid. This comes from the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics. You can look them up online. Carcinogens, endocrine, so carcinogens cause cancer. Endocrine disruptors mess up your hormones. Organ system toxicity means typically they're going to affect your liver and your kidneys, because those are your detox organs, along with your skin, but you're putting it on your skin, so that is counterproductive. Reproductive toxicants, remember all those things that were in the umbilical cord? Bioaccumulation, that means it builds up in your tissues, especially in your fat. That's why when you detox, you can get sick, because you release your toxins. And irritants, so that are things that will give you a rash, or developmental toxicity that's going to affect an unborn baby. So I did not go into detail on all of these because I don't want to make your brains explode. But you can go to Campaign for Safe Cosmetics and look up all of these things. But basically, why are they bad? Perfume, that's the endocrine disruptors, right? Unless it's an organic essential oil or an organic extract, it's probably not good for you. PEG compounds, polyethylene glycol. That is about 70% of people are allergic to that. Petrolatum, who's used Vaseline? It's just what's left over from the refining process of oil. Ooh, goody. Let's put that on our skin, right? And not only is that bad because it probably has impurities in it. It's also bad because it blocks your pores. And when people get eczema, they will often use products that have a petrolatum, a mineral oil based. And mineral oil, again, that's just petroleum jelly. It blocks the pores, and they think their eczema is going away because what they put on their skin fixed it. What it really did is it kept the body from dumping the toxins out of the skin that is causing the rash. So now the toxins are still in your body. You don't have a rash anymore, but now you've treated the symptom rather than the cause. So something else to consider. Sodium lauryl sulfate, you're going to find that in your toothpaste. How many people put a toothbrush and some fun toothpaste in their kid's stocking? That causes canker sores. And it's what makes things foam. It's in shampoo. It's what makes it foam. You don't want a lot of foam. That's not a good thing. Siloxanes are the things I mentioned that hurt the fish in the ocean. Triclosan is a carcinogen. That's going to be in your hand sanitizers. Lots of people putting little things like that in stocking stuffers, right? Anything that has the word paraben in it, that's going to be an endocrine disruptor. You guys get the idea. So let's make this super, super easy. The fewer the ingredients, the better. The only certification that means anything is one that is third-party certified. So none of the words, none of the cute little labels, none of the leaves or the green label, or it doesn't mean anything. Ignore it. It means nothing. Just read your ingredients. Avoid ingredients that are acronyms, PEG, PHT, et cetera, or anything that has a number on it. They're bad for you. Avoid them. If it's a big, long word, you don't know what it is, avoid it because it's not natural. Natural ingredients cannot be patented, period. If they say it's proprietary, it's not natural. End of statement. Preservatives, remember I mentioned this earlier, they dry cell membranes out. We don't want to preserve a live body. They are saying, NASA did a study years ago that bodies don't need to be embalmed right away anymore between the preservatives that we're taking in and the preservatives we are putting on our skin. Ew, you guys, it hardens your blood cells or your cell membranes. And if you want pretty skin, you don't want it hard. So that's why I avoid. And the thing is, there are very few companies on the market. I can think of less than 10 that I will even use in my home. Almost all of them have preservatives in it. Phenoxyethanol is probably going to be the mildest of them. And then there are companies that don't use them and they will have an expiration date on them, because if they have water and they don't, and they just are using vitamins to help preserve it, they will go bad. You want things to go bad. You want your food to go bad. We know Twinkies are not food. They don't go bad, right? Same with your lotion. You don't want it to last forever, because then what is going into your bloodstream? If the ingredients cannot be disclosed, they aren't natural. Ratios are proprietary, but natural ingredients are not. So there are companies out there that say, well, these are proprietary ingredients, but we're a natural company. No, you can't have it both ways. It's one way or the other, but there will be companies who will protect their formula, because maybe there's certain set of essential oils or extracts that create the smell in it. And they don't want to tell you what their ratios are, because they don't want somebody to be able to replicate it, and they're protecting their recipe, but they can't protect their ingredients if they are natural. And here's my last point for you guys on this. Non-toxic and toxin-free are not the same thing, and people get them confused. So non-toxic means that the ingredients have been buffered until they're no longer poisonous, or they're not poisonous in the small serving size that they give you. All right. Toxin-free means the ingredients were never toxic in the first place. It's a really big difference. And people are like, but it's non-toxic. Again, just another marketing term. So this last thing right here, this page, this is the one you want to take the screenshot of. This is the one that is going to make it easiest for you. Now, if you have questions, of course, I can answer them later, but I'm trying to make it easy on you. So if you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. If you don't know what it is, then don't use it. The only certification that means anything is third-party certification, etc. Should make it pretty easy. And then I'm going to move on to a couple other things that are important for you to know. Christmas decorations. How many of you know that artificial trees are covered in flame retardants? And flame retardants get into the dust in your house, and they are potent endocrine disruptors. They're also on your couches and most of your furniture. They're also in your kids' pajamas. Lots of people give pajamas for Christmas, and you'll look for the little tag. There are tags on your kids' pajamas that say that this has been protected with a flame retardant. You can't wash it out. Your kids are absorbing that through their skin. There are other tags that say this is not protected by a flame retardant. They're going to be the tighter fitting pajamas. Or I know Costco oftentimes will have organic cotton tighter fitting pajamas, but that's something most people don't realize. And I should have put it, like written it on here. Didn't think of it until I was talking it just right now. But flame retardants on pajamas are legally mandated unless the pajamas are tight enough that kids can't catch them like on an open flame. So pay attention to that when you're buying your kids' pajamas. And something else to consider, cotton is one of the main GMO crops. It's got a ton of glyphosate in it. So try and go for organic cotton when you're buying your kids' pajamas, or they're spending 8 hours or, sometimes 12 if you have teenagers like me, wearing something that they could be absorbing toxins from. So choose ornaments that aren't going to fill up your landfills in the future. Recyclable, homemade. How many of you have taken the flour and water and salt and, made the dough and then had the kids paint it and you bake it, and now you've got these great memories? That's going to be a lot better than the plastic thing that eventually is going to end up in the landfill. Avoid plastic decorations like tinsel, not least of which because it's a pain in the butt to clean up because it gets everywhere. And get creative. So I'm going to pull this down, stop the share for a moment. And I'm going to show you how we get creative in our home, because I don't want to have a live tree because I don't want to kill the tree. And I don't want to clean up the needles. And I don't want an artificial tree for all the reasons I just gave you, but I like to collect things. And Christmas ornaments is how it happened, because I don't want to dust everything. So every year, everybody gets a Christmas ornament. And I found these. You can see I've got it all wrapped up. I should have unwrapped it so I can show you, but it comes apart. And these come down. All right, you see it? So I store them up like this, and it comes down, and it's this little metal tree. There's 5 of us in the house, so we have 5 of these. And I went to IKEA and I got those little spotlights, and I put them up under here so I can light them up. And we can have all of our ornaments and a pretty tree. And we have 3 gold ones and 2 silver ones. So me and my little girl get the silver ones and the boys get the gold ones. And that makes her feel special. And we put it across. You can kind of see behind me, there's a fireplace back there. We've got the same setup in another room, and they go all across the mantle like that in front of our fireplace. And now I can feel good about having my Christmas ornaments and not breathing in flame retardants and being able to still have that holiday feel without the guilt. The other way that you can get creative, when I was researching that a few years ago, when I learned all this, the first picture I had up on here was a cardboard Christmas tree that somebody had made. I've seen people do it up their wall, like just make slats of wood and put hooks in it and do it up their wall, or just make it out of lights up their wall. There's so many creative ideas online. One year we had a little teepee and we wrapped yarn around it and we hung everything on the yarn. Because my kids got super creative. So you can still have fun and celebrate the holidays without poisoning yourself or hurting the environment. So those are all my ideas, and we're going to move into eco-friendly wrapping ideas. So I'm going to bring this back up, and I am going to pass it to Stephanie, who is the one who came up with all these really cool ideas for eco-friendly wrapping. So here's the title page, Steph. I'm going to move it up to the actual picture.
Okay, cool. Wow. Thank you so much, Jody. This is so valuable. You're getting so much love in the chat, girl. Oh boy. So as I mentioned a moment ago, I've been the eco chick for a very long time, and Christmas and the holidays is no exception. So I have, I had a short list, and then I went and I asked my Facebook friends. And so some of these are from my Facebook friends and some of these are mine. The one at the top is mine. I did this for years with my children. So paper bags with potato stamp designs. Oh, right on, Jody. So I did this for years. I would take grocery bags and I would cut them and I would open them up, and it creates a craft for the children as well. And who doesn't love holiday crafts for the children, right? You can also get, I mean, it's not recycled, but you can also get, the longer craft paper that you can use as well if you want to go like full on. But I would use the grocery bags, and then as you can see from that little image that Jody's highlighting there, you carve into it. For me, it was stars. It was trees. It was little holiday symbols into the potato, and so. I think I would mostly do that, but the kids would do the stamping. And so it creates this beautiful homemade wrapping paper. And it's just so fun to do with the children. So that was something that I loved to do for many years when my kids were little. They're now big, they're 15 and 17. But moving on to baskets. So my kids went to a Waldorf school, and with Waldorf, it's very earth-based. And so everything was all about baskets. They have these beautiful baskets with lids that you can absolutely purchase. They are not cheap, however. But where I get baskets from is the thrift stores. There are so many baskets at thrift stores, and I'll just go there and buy a ton of baskets that get gifted and regifted over the years, right? And they get used in the home, or people can, pay it forward by reusing them. So I personally love baskets, and thrift stores is where I get baskets. And so you can fill them with baked goods. You can fill them with store-bought items, or homemade items if you're into making, all those things that Jody was sharing about that are horrendous and store-bought. You could potentially be making. I know there's a lot of crafty ladies and men, I'm sure, in our community. And so you can be doing that as well if you want to go super deep. And also the other thing I wanted to mention, something that is also connected to my Waldorf roots, is we did candle dipping every year. And making candles is so fun. It does take time. Dipping candles takes time because you got to dip it over and over and over and over again. But if you're doing it with children, you're teaching them patience. It's fun. You're teaching them to, be connected to the process of creating something of great beauty that will give us light. So, with beeswax, which some of you who are like full on vegan might not like that, but that's the only candles that I will use is beeswax personally. Tins. So there are so many tins as well in the thrift stores that you can be using, reusing, using, baking and then putting them inside. You can buy them as well. And in that way, it's just something that'll be reused over and over and over again, because reduce, reuse, recycle, like that's sort of the eco geeks mantra, right? Like you just want to be using things that can that have a life beyond the actual giving of the gift. So there are amazing loose leaf teas out there that have gorgeous tin containers that are really pretty, that you can reuse and just tie with a sweet bow. Vintage baking tins are out there in thrift stores. I'm a thrifter from way back. I love thrift stores. There's so many things that can be found there, old, gently used, and vintage. So that's just something that I love to this day. And my eldest now loves that too. He's like, can we go thrifting? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, so this came from my friends. So many amazing ideas here. Scarves, tea towels, fabric, bandanas, sarongs. And then one suggestion, the furoshiki. I was like, what the heck is that? And she initially, she didn't unpack what that was at all, but it's the fine art of dyeing fabric and silks, I think, and then tying them in really pretty configurations. It's like this whole art, this whole Japanese art. So I learned something new a couple days ago, and I'm glad to be including that here. Were you able to find a graphic of that, Jody? Of the furoshiki? Is that it in the upper right-hand corner? Yeah, okay. Anyways, it's really, research it. You can also go on my page on Facebook, because she uploaded a ton of graphics of what furoshiki is. So I thought that was just fascinating. Reusable grocery bags. So I've never done this. So this was a cool idea. So, you know, reusable grocery bags are all the rage now. Why? Because we're not using so much brown paper bags anymore and plastic bags, right? So I have a ton of reusable grocery bags in the back of my car, and I have a really cute one that's got pineapples all over it. I love my pineapple one. It always makes me think of Hawaii. So you can invest in a reusable grocery bag, load that up with either handmade gifts or store-bought gifts or whatever, and then, you know, tie it with a little bow, and there's your gift. Good to go. One of my friends sews her own fabric bags, and you creates fabric strips with rope, fabric, ribbons to tie it up. Now, my stepmom has done that over the years. So, and I've always loved what she's created. So for those of you who sew, that's a beautiful way. And I absolutely reuse what's been given to me in those fabric bags. You pay it forward, right? You just re-gift the bag. My one girlfriend, she works in the building world. She uses blueprints to, you know, architectural blueprints to wrap gifts in. So I thought that was well done, Jody. Look at the Christmas tree blueprint. I love that. So I thought that was a really novel and unique way of reusing paper. The Waldorf Rainbow Play Silk. So this was really big in my Waldorf community. They are gorgeous play silks that are used for creative imagination play for children, young children. They would make, you know, little, when children are small, right, they love to hide under things. We used to get these huge blankets and like build these big, huge tents over the living room, and we would just do stuff inside, right? So creating these imaginary playscapes for children, this is the Waldorf way, using the rainbow. All right. So again, not cheap, but beautiful. You can use the silks to wrap. You can even dye your own silks if you're that woman or man that wants to get super crafty and dye fabrics, dye silks, and use the fabrics that you're dyeing, silk or not, as wrapping. So I love the creativity of my community. I personally keep old shoe boxes, boxes that have been shipped to me. I keep those to wrap gifts in. I keep the you know, in our own Purium boxes, we've got a ton of paper in there, a ton of brown paper. There's nothing wrong with flattening that out and getting out your potato stamps and going for it. It doesn't matter that it's crinkly, you know, it really adds to the whole feel of what it is that you're doing here to be reusing. And you know, and a bow makes everything gorgeous, right? Whether it's twine or ribbon or whatever you're using to wrap your gifts with. So those are a few of my ideas in terms of eco-friendly wrapping. I hope that that's giving you some creative ideas to use for your holidays. Thanks, Jode.
Absolutely. So now we get to pass it to Naiva, who get to do all the fun stuff. She's the crafty one. We're all a little crafty, but Naiva, she's got us covered. So take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much, Jody. It is my pleasure. And yes, I love to create crafts, especially with my family, especially around the holidays. And so these are some of the ideas that I had to just help everyone have. And I'm sure there's so many more ideas that we can come up with, but this is a short list of things that we can make, mostly out of things that you may have around your house. So, you know, superfood sugar scrubs, bath salts and bath bombs. Those are always fun for some self-care. We're encouraging each other. Maybe you give it to some other fellow moms or your sisters or other, people that you feel like could use that self-care encouragement. And then we have some great recipes through our Million Mom Movement blog and the Purium blog. And so sugar cookies, we have fudge recipes using the MVP kids and so much more. And, baking stuff has always been a part of holiday tradition where you either bake stuff with the family for the holiday meal, or maybe you bake stuff and make it to give away, like Stephanie shared about, the reusable tins or the baskets, the different ways that we can wrap these and give them to our loved ones. I actually made a jar of Power Shake pancake mix right here that I'll show you guys in a minute. So that's a fun idea. Get creative with it. What I did is I put half pancake mix and half Power Shake, and I just layered it. So it made green and white stripes through my jar. And then you can put a little ribbon over it. And it's super simple. You literally just add water and it makes pancake mix. So it's the most simple thing. It's a great gift. And it's a great way to show people that you could make green pancakes and the kids will eat them too. And you could have additional fun with it. You might put layers of bio fruit in between to make red and green and white and make it look like a candy cane. Have fun with it. The other idea I had for something in a jar, if you have the smaller mason jars, you could maybe make if you have the juice bar in a bag, you can do what Jody talks about, that fruit punch with all the different flavors, and do one little layer of each flavor and put it in a jar, and it will make a little rainbow. And that will probably be like 5 servings or so in there. And so that could be a fun way to introduce somebody to the concept and give it to them in a really colorful, beautiful way. And if it's a tiny jar, it might even fit in a stocking. The other thing is that the sponge stamps, so similar to the potato stamps, you can also use a sponge. And we had one of our team members a couple years ago. I got this idea from her, is she made sponge stamps and she used the superfoods as the dye, you guys. What a genius thing to do. So I actually made that for you this morning and I'll show you in a minute. I used spirulina for my green and I used the Can't Beat This for the red this morning. And so that's a fun way to use your superfoods and, take pictures of the kids doing it and share about the experience and share that, you're using non-toxic, you're using superfoods, you're having fun with the kids and you're making a bunch of holiday cards. So, the other thing I want to share with you is finding natural things around you. I live in Hawaii, so I have lots of access to shells. Every time I go to the beach, I find a jar full of shells and I bring it home. And some of the shells are not the prettiest. And so some of the shells I choose to let the kids paint and put glitter on, and we will put little bows on, little ties on them so that they can get tied onto the tree, or that you can put a hook on it and then you can hang that on the tree and it's just as sparkly and fun as anything else. So we can move forward, Jody. And so here are some recipes for a salt or sugar scrub. Let's see. So coconut oil, this is for the sugar scrub. So I use half a cup of coconut oil. I use 1.5 cups of fine sugar because you don't want it to be too scrubby, because otherwise it won't be good for your skin. So you want it to be a fine sugar so that when you're exfoliating, it's just a nice, pleasant exfoliation. And then I like to use lavender personally. You can use whatever suits you. I love lavender and vanilla together. And you can actually eat your sugar scrub because it's all good stuff in there for you. So, little side tip. And if you want to make it green, you could add some spirulina. Spirulina is really great for your skin. It's actually what I use to make facials. And so, if you want to make it green, add some spirulina. And moving on, Jody, bath bombs. Bath bombs are another really fun, creative thing that you can do at home with the family, with the kids, include everybody in. Here are the ingredients that you will need. So you guys go ahead and screenshot this. I won't go over every ingredient with you as we're getting to the top of the hour, but there's a really fun way. And if you don't have bath bomb molds, you don't need bath bomb molds. You can put muffin liners or cupcake liners in a muffin pan, and you can make your bath bombs in the shape of like the little muffin tin, so that they won't be circular or like a ball, but they'll be round and more flat. But it's still a fun idea and it still serves the purpose. So I want to show you guys real quick my card that I made. And so all I did is I took one sponge, I cut it in half. I made a little Christmas tree. I made a little star, which was challenging. And then I just took a little bit of spirulina with water and I just made my stamped cards. So you can see the first one, a little too much water, it got blurry. So if you use the same stamp repeatedly, this is like the 5th one, it comes out a lot better because there's less water in the sponge. So maybe wring out the sponge. I may not have done that prior. So have fun with it though. What a fun idea. Look, this little Christmas tree with a star. I made it myself. It took me 5 minutes and I used my superfoods for the dye. The other thing that I've made, like I said, with the kids is we've made these fun Christmas ornaments. There's actually 2 of them together. We glued them together, or we put a little ribbon between them. And you may not be able to see how glittery they are. But so these ones, we actually, in Hawaii, we have sunrise shells that look like this, but this is actually a painted shell that is usually just white and brown and gray and not as pretty, but we painted it with all these nice bright colors. And let's see, my light's not even in here. Oh, can you see it better now? And we put glitter all over it. And then we just put this little, with hot glue in the back, you just put a little piece of ribbon and this hooks right onto a tree or onto the little metal hangers that hang onto the tree. The other thing that you can do is these are not 100% eco-friendly, but I did find these little plastic bulbs at Ace Hardware and I filled it up with sand and shells, you guys. This is really fun. It's a fun project. And you could put anything in it. You could put pine cones in there. You could put lichen from the tree if you're somewhere in the Northwest. You know, have fun with it. Put in here what is in your surroundings. But what I like about this, you guys, is it can also double as a gift. You could make this. I have made these and sent them to my relatives as gifts for Christmas. My dad probably has a couple dozen of them for me and the kids, but we literally just put a little Hawaii sand in here and some shells that we've found that can fit in here. And here you go. It's a great decoration. It's a fun project and it's something you can give away. So that's all I got for you this morning. Back to you, Jody.
Thank you, ma'am. Stephanie messaged me, said she's got one more thing about gift wrapping.
One more thing. So how many Christmas cards do you get every year, you guys? What do you do with them all? So one of the things that I like to do is I like to reuse them. And I reuse them in many different ways. I cut off the personal message and I reuse the card. You know, I might cut it into 4s or, you know, in half or whatever. And I reuse it as a gift tag, right? Just get a little hole punch, little ribbon, it becomes a gift tag. So reusing Christmas cards, right? Or you can even use, you know, if you've got scissors that have, you know, the little, zigzag edge or whatever, like there's totally all these ways that you can be making tags without having to buy tags. So I just wanted to add that, Jode.
You're going to laugh at me. So I have to share this with everybody. So I got to the, I just can't keep up with the Christmas cards point, but we have a very musical family. So every year, the kids and I pick a Christmas carol and we change the words to fit the last year and what we're doing. And we get on Facebook and we tag everybody we know and we sing to everybody. And that is the Christmas card that we sound out every year. So it's very, very eco-friendly, everyone. And I need a song for this year though. Like last year it was You're a Mean One 2020. Instead of Mr. Grinch. So if you guys have any good ideas for me, let me know. And Steph, I'm gonna throw it back to you for closing.
Oh, this has been so good. You've been getting so much. We've all been getting there's a lot of love in the chat. Jody, I don't know if you've been following it, but super amazing ideas. Oh my God, there's Leora. Hi, Leora. So many great ideas, just spurring our creativity on. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? We all need that new inspiring energy to take our values to the next level, no matter where we are, you know, holidays or not. So thank you all so much for being with us today. I want to just go ahead and trumpet. Dun, 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 dun. Who's going to be with us here next week? Oh my gosh. So you guys, we have Dave Sandoval joining us next week, but here's the deal. This one was our health Fierce Friday. Next week is our Wealth Fierce Friday. So we've got Dave Sandoval coming to talk with us about the business. Okay. Why Purium? Why now? Is anyone excited about that? Yeah. Why Purium? Why now? Right. We are a company on the ascent. We are a movement that is business forward, right? That is the way that we are going to move this mission forward, is by sharing. Sharing is caring. So if you are, if you are a brand partner, we want you there with us next Friday. If you're not a brand partner, we want you to come and meet the founder of our company, whom we all love and respect and learn from every time he speaks. So I'm excited for you all to come and get the Dave Sandoval download. The other thing I want to say about what you've heard today is, if you've been inspired today, there's people that you've been talking to that need to be a part of this community, send them the replay from the Million Mom Movement YouTube channel. Okay, so many people were like, where can I get the replay? Where can I get this replay? The Million Mom Movement YouTube channel is where you're going to get the replay. All right. That's where you're going to see all the replays from our Fierce Fridays, from our Lunch and Learns, from the events. Occasionally we do pop-ups over the holidays. We might do that. You never know. So that's where you're going to find this information, and you can absolutely share our replays with your friends, because this is a community that is growing to 1,000,000-fold. All right. That's our commitment as a council. And that is what we want you to see for your organization. If you're a brand partner, right? See us growing to 1,000,000-fold. All right. That's why we're here. Thank you so much, Jody. That was an amazing presentation. Bless you for putting that on. I learned a whole bunch. I took a bunch of notes, and I'm so grateful. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next Friday. All right. Go out there and be fierce. All right. Much love to you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Say goodbye.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.